Hey yo, shout out to the top percent. I'm Rata Joey,
And I'm Maxon.
and I have to apologise for the brief hiatus we've had. Well, I'll say brief, it's been like a month. So, quick, sorry for that. So it's just stuff's not been happening. That's all I can really say.
There's not been much news, to be perfectly honest.
True, but I've had 3 episodes planned for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, that's true. But all in all, there's not been any breaking sets or anything like that. So, oh no, yeah, it's not too bad.
True. The biggest news we've actually had is the Battle Carnivals, which is one of the episodes coming up. I promise you guys we'll get that as soon as possible. Also, I want to try something new with the format. That'll be coming up as well. So don't worry, I've been thinking about you guys. We've been thinking about you guys, sorry. So as I was saying, we will be getting more content to you guys. We will keep doing this, and we apologise for the brief hiatus. With that said, we'll move on to today's episode. Today we're covering the future of Blastoise Keldeo.
In about 2 years, it will get rotated. That's my prediction.
I'm thinking more immediate future.
I think my prediction might come true though.
Yeah, true.
Scary.
You realize after these
scary.
are Max.
I got some scary powers here. So
I know for yes, Max.
Well, I don't know. It's like when you talk about future, you mean like future Japanese sets, or just generally how the deck will change as the meta changes?
I'm talking mostly about how the deck will change as we move into the upcoming set. This is mostly brought on by the fact. Firstly, I want to cover the fact that I know the channel's called the show's called FutureSight, and it seems weird that we're looking back at a deck that's already in format. But there was an astounding revelation that I found from the results of the Osaka Battle Carnival in the Open League, and that's basically that 3 out of the top 4 decks were all Blastoise, Keldeo, and Black Kyramex.
Yeah.
To be honest, this does show us that the deck does have a future if an event as big as Osaka can have the same deck in 3 of the top 4 slots.
I think that just kind of prove how good the deck is. I suppose it would also depend on who was playing what on the day. But Blastoise Keldeo is actually a really good deck, and when we first saw the scans of Kyurem, it was the most obvious thing to synergize with it is using it in Blastoise Keldeo.
It was actually the very first thing you said when you saw Kyurem.
Yeah.
Blastoise's new friend.
Basically. And Keldeo is still a good card because it's just a good card. Because it's not like Darkrai or anything where it needs to actually have a perfect hand to set up. Because obviously you just drop energy as often as you need it to be dropped.
True. Although I think for the sake of our views, I should really clarify which Black Kyramex we're actually talking about.
Okay, so one from the Japanese battle deck.
Yeah, the one that we should be getting around with a similar time to when Plasma Gale is released here.
To save confusion, we'll just call it the good one.
Well, actually, I was going to just refer to it by its attack name, Black Ballista.
A Black Ballista.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't know, the second Black Kyramex actually carries 2 attacks. The first is for triple bolus, 60 damage, slash, not much to say about it. The next is the major reason why a lot of people did play it over in Japan. For double water, lightning, and a colorless, you can use Black Ballista, which deals out 200 damage. You have to discard 3 energy attached to him. Now, already you can see he's got heavy water cost. That's why everyone's decided, let's pair this guy with Blastoise.
Yeah, I think the only manual attachment you'd have to do is for the electric energy, and that's not too bad, really.
Well, once you have Blastoise out, water energy doesn't need manual attachments anymore.
No.
You get all the water energy you need.
Although
you have it in hand.
I suppose the deck starts turning into a similar story that the Reshiram Embor.
Mm-hmm. The old Reshiram deck.
Yeah, how it would just basically discard to do a lot of damage. At the time, I should say, 120 damage was actually a pretty big deal.
It was huge back at the time when the magic number was 130.
Yeah.
So being a plus power away from one-shotting pretty much anything big in format was key.
But now we've got a very similar thing where it's 200, and I'm pretty sure that just one-shots everything in the format.
With there being nothing that resists Dragon, even with Eviolite or Magic, or whatever method you choose, most X's will survive. No, most X's will be knocked out, sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Minor and very minor exception with Lugia X, because if you use the Asperta Gem and Eviolite, he has 200 hit points plus buffering. That's a very minor fact bring forward. Another bonus for actually running Kyurem X, though, is the whole fact that it stops grass decks from actually appearing in format.
Well, it doesn't stop them appearing, but it helps you play around them.
True. It's mostly the fact that what I'm trying to say is that it stops them appearing in format is with Blastoise Keldeo being one of the big decks, anyone could turn around and say, oh, well, as soon as we get a really powerful grass type attacker, that deck doesn't exist anymore. Now it does. Here's Black Kyurem X. What do? You watch me one-shot your main attacker and then go back to what I do best.
Anti-Keldeo did need to be just a big grass attacker. Like, if we had a magical Virizion X, if that appeared, that would have probably shut down the whole deck. Vileplume, Blossom would have shut down the whole deck. Blossom generally shuts it down pretty well. The new Leafeon from the very, 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 very recently revealed next set will have shut it down. But with having an alternate weakness,
it all of a sudden makes running grass not really worth it.
Well, it's not. You can't just run a single tech that will shut down the whole deck. You might need to run. You'd have to run a dedicated deck for it now. The only thing is that the Zekrom is Dragon type, and that's a really popular type at the moment. There's a lot of decks that kind of use Dragon.
True.
So it's both a blessing and a curse, because obviously it will mean that it can take 2 prizes a lot easier, like Rayquaza in Eels or Hydreigon in Darkrai. So it can not 2 prizes in Darkrai, obviously, because it's not an X, but it can take prizes easier. It doesn't need to. It does 200 damage, but I could see the slash for 60 actually being really helpful as well.
For a setup care, I can see it being amazingly helpful.
And it's not like Reshiram where the deck has one main attacker. It still has Keldeo, which is an amazing card in itself. Being able to hit for like 110 damage for 3 water energy. True,
and you still actually have a semi-immunity to Catcher.
Yeah.
If they drag out that Blastoise, they have to knock it out, or they've just wasted a Catcher, really.
The deck does also have answers to status conditions like sleep and paralysis.
That is a good point as well. I mean, Keldeo has actually seen quite a lot of play overseas because of that. I mean, a few people are going towards like Speed Darkrai over Darkrai Hydreigon, and one of the techs in Speed Darkrai is to actually have a 1-up Keldeo.
Yeah,
if you get hit with that status, you just play down Keldeo.
Well, considering Japan also has the Poison Hypnotic Beam at the moment.
Yeah, the Poison Hypnotic Beam and Verbank Gym, which Verbank has actually should have been released here but hasn't been yet.
Yeah, there's a reason why, I guess.
Well, we've not got the Poison Hypnotic Beam yet, so we'll get them at the same time.
Well, might be. But I'm just saying, they held a lot back in the last set.
They held quite a few key cards back.
But they pushed Skylar forward, which was quite interesting.
True, and I don't hate them for doing that. It's a very nice card, very beautiful artwork.
They could have pushed Colress forward.
I don't mind waiting for that. I don't mind waiting for that at all. It's a card that's so good, it's worth the wait. It really is.
But
just wait till we get it. Then things get very silly.
But I think Japan does have they have the Plasma Gale stuff out already. Were the Japanese decks using these cards? I would assume they would be.
They were. Let me just hop into the only thing. I've only got a couple of decks. None of them actually have Blastoise Keldeo, but it'll give us an idea of Transporter line.
Oh, that helps.
Let's see. Poison Hypnotic Beams, Tool Search, Computer Search is getting used. Verbank Gym's getting used with Poison Hypnotic. And Poison Hypnotic, what I'm seeing right in front of me is 4 times in that list. Let me just check the comparative list. Poison Hypnotic is times 4 again, to Verbank again. So there's like 4-2 split on Poison Hypnotic and Verbank. It is looking like it's going to be a real thing.
It might just be a Japanese meta thing. I don't know how well it perform over here.
True, I can't see it being too awful though.
It does get around Eviolite in a way, which is really good.
It basically, the combination itself acts a lot like effectively a triple plus power.
Yeah, because they have to get out the sleep condition as well.
Well, the sleep's on a coin toss, but it's a good thing to factor in. So if they can hit it, assume they will. It can change what the game is going to be looking like. It's going to be taking decks like Darkrai and saying, oh well, I hope you're on Keldeo or Switch.
Well, that's the other thing about the Keldeo Blastoise deck. If it's not liable to just use a catcher to get out Blastoise and stall, because they will just they'll just retreat back into Keldeo, which just makes the deck as a whole. It makes it a lot faster than like anything else. Like with Emboar, you would have to find the resources to get rid of to attach the energy and then retreat or get the switch or whatever. But in Keldeo, it's just as using its ability to come back in.
True. It's a case of the only real thing you've got against, the only way that works is if you capture up the Blastoise while you have a Garbodor down. But Garbodor lock hasn't been very popular.
The other thing is with the Zekrom, after you've attacked with it, if you don't have the energy, you can easily just switch into Keldeo and attack with that instead.
You mean the Kyurem?
Oh, the Kyurem, yeah.
Yeah, you got the Zekrom. You got half of it right.
It looks like Zekrom.
Well, it looks like
for all intents and purposes, it may as well be Zekrom.
Technically, yes.
But it's like it's Keldeo. It's such a good card on its own.
Well, when you compare it with something like, as I said, Darkrai, or, in this case, Black Kyurem X, he's basically, he's hopping into other people's decks and saying, hey, I'm going to be your buddy, or he's got his own deck and he's like, hey, I've got more friends.
I suppose it should be pointed out, I guess, that with his A spec, he can do 250 damage, because that's necessary.
Yeah. Is he the attack A spec? I thought Black was...
Yeah, White is the... I'm pretty sure White is the HP one.
I shall double check this for the sake of our viewers.
If it's not, I'd be very so Black Kyurem X was like 300 HP and it can do 200 damage. You'd be hard pressed to one shot it.
Yeah, I'm checking now. In fact, I think it might be Crystal Wall is for Black Kyurem. Yeah, Crystal Wall is Black Kyurem.
Oh right, wow.
Yeah. In fact, it's because one of the guys from League is actually working on an experimental deck that basically just takes Black Kyurem X and Crystal Wall and says, you can't really do anything now.
Well, it will bump it up to what? How much is it? 100 HP?
It takes up to 300 HP in total.
Yeah.
So basically, this Black Kyurem X is going to come out and say, oh, I've only got like 100 hit points. As soon as you get that A-spec on it, 300.
And it's pretty stupid. Although, to be honest, the A-specs that will be used is probably just going to be computer search.
I could see computer search, and on rare occasions, I say this as basically it will be on rare occasions, maybe the scramble switch.
I think scramble switch will be used in something like 6 corners.
True, I can see my thinking with scramble switch is, if you're late game, you're running low on energy. You don't really. You want to chance it on Super Scoop Up, or do you want to go Scramble Switch, move all the water energy across to Keldeo?
It would depend. I think Computer Search is more consistently better, while Scramble Switch is more situational. It's used for one turn of the game, whereas Computer Search is used to either help you set up or help you be more offensive. Like you can search for Catcher to take a key prize. You can search for a candy to evolve. You can search for a supporter to get a hand. It has a lot. It's a very versatile card.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that computer search is outclassed by Scramble Switch, but I'd be surprised if people didn't at least test it, and I'd be surprised if nobody had any success with it.
It would depend, I think, on the deck, to be honest. I think Scramble Switch as well, like in Keldeo, isn't really necessary, because you already have like energy retrieval and Super Scoop Up.
Ah, yeah. On the not a Super Scoop Up though, it's like we have seen in Blastoise deck Super Scoop Up fail consistently.
Well, it can fail, but it can also succeed.
True. I'm just saying, out of Super Scoop Up and Scramble Switch, which one's more consistent.
Well, that's debatable. You can play more than one Super Scoop Up,
and all 4 can still fail.
Yeah, all 4 could hit.
True.
The opposite is, it's a 50-50.
That's why I'm saying it's, which one's more consistent. As I said, going back to what I was saying before, I'll be surprised if people don't tech it, and I'll be surprised if there's no success with it.
I don't think they tech it in Keldeo. There's no reason to tech it into Keldeo.
I can see how it's space.
Oh, if it's just to swap energy around, I don't feel it's not necessary to be able to do it.
True, but you also do turn around and say, oh, this very injured Kyurem, I best get it out of the way.
Well, yeah,
but it's used for capture already.
You can use Keldeo. The deck does not have any problems with treating. It doesn't have problems with energy manipulation.
You still got all your energy stuck on Black Kyurem.
Well, I assume you take a prize with Black Kyurem before it died.
True. What I'm saying is the whole fact you can get it out of the way, put the energy onto something, onto Keldeo, still get that prize, and you don't have to worry about like conceding 2 prizes.
You'd still lose 2 prizes. It doesn't swap like HP around.
Yeah, what I'm saying is so that the Black Kyurem could be damaged from anything, could have 10 hit points left for all we know. Whereas Keldeo, you can bring in a fresh one.
You can still do that anyway.
Well, yeah, but then the energy's still stuck on Kyurem. That's the argument I'm making.
Well, then you lose the energy. It happens. Or you just play smart. If it's been attacked, I doubt it would have that much energy on it.
Well, it's gonna for Black Ballista, you're gonna actually be spending
Discarding cards. Yeah.
I love how that whole argument could be sorted by Black Ballista's effect.
Black Ballista. It's I'm sorry, but I hear that and I think I just think Digimon. It just
when you say it like that, I think Black Ballista. It just doesn't sound nice.
It just sounds like it should be. I just think it should be something from Digimon. It just sounds too like it. I don't know.
Well, we've had cross fusion here anyway,
Yeah.
so
It's not like Thunderbolt. Like it doesn't sound like something. It just sounds like natural, physical. It's like a natural weapon being evolved.
yeah.
I don't know.
To be honest, as you say, it does sound like something from Digimon. I'm not complaining though. If you're gonna sound like another series, make sure it sounds like a good series.
But it's like it's being able to hit for 200 damage is a bit stupid in our format. We were all pretty impressed when we saw Charizard and it could hit for 150. And we thought, well, that's pretty cool. Shame it needs 5 energy to do it.
And then we get this guy who turns around and says, "Oh, what's that? 4 energy," and we've got acceleration for my key energy type.
It's being able to do 200 damage
It's
in this format. I think is really pushing it. Especially, I mean, things like you'd have to obviously have to have your own dragon to one-shot it, but the fact it can revenge kill everything in format, it's like it doesn't even matter if it's dragon type, it will just one-shot it. There is literally nothing unless you have a Wailord with the cape of is it the cape or the scarf?
The
cloak.
Cape.
Yeah, unless you have a Wailord with a cloak on it, that's the only thing that can live.
In this format, I think Wailord only has 180.
Is it only 180?
Yeah, well, we've not seen a return of 200 hit point Wailord.
Oh, well then Wailord still get... Then
so
it
even the
kills...
biggest wall in format doesn't do it.
So yeah, it kills everything in format. As far as I remember, there's no EX with 190 HP.
Nope.
So yeah, it kills everything. Is it a plasma card, or is it just a
It's just a regular X.
Oh, okay.
If it was plasma, that would just be stupid. That would just be silly. That would be evil. It's just like, let's give it everything. It would just be. It wouldn't be Blastoise Keldeo with Black Kyurem. It would be here's Black Kyurem from Blastoise. Have fun. That's what we get.
It is a bit. It's kind of silly.
It's Siri.
But yeah, I think obviously the deck as a whole just synergizes so well. So you've got energy acceleration, you've got free retreat, you've got we've got 2 attackers. That one has an uncapped damage potential, and the other does 200. So it's like either way, you're one-shotting stuff. Black Kyurem also Keldeo's huge weakness was Mewtwo, because obviously you put so much energy on it that Mewtwo would be able to just come in and one-shot it, and then you have a Mewtwo war. But Black Kyurem, he completely removes that from the deck.
Well, it is a case of, I'm going to knock out one Mewtwo, and then your second Mewtwo can hit me for 60. Hope you don't mind, sir.
Well, it just removes itself from the whole the Keldeo's Mewtwo war problem. It's just absolutely stupid. And the fact is that the deck doesn't require Blastoise though towards the mid to late game, whereas generally it didn't matter in the current format. Once you had a Blastoise and all your energy was on the board, you could set up like 3 Keldeos or something and just roll with it and let Blastoise get knocked out. But now it seems to be more necessary to keep Blastoise alive.
True, I mean, it will force players to actually play smarter, and that is actually, it seems to be that, that 200 damage is going to be a reward for playing smarter, keeping your Blastoise going.
I don't know how much smarter you have to play to not one-shot things.
Well, it's the whole fact that, if you don't see Black Kyurem X and say in the first 4 turns, you start losing Blastoises.
I do have to say...
the Black Ballista set up, it's a case of, you're going to want 1 or 2 Black Ballistas.
It's just a bit stupid, I feel, especially when we were looking at, like Lugia, and that was supposed to be pretty broke, and now suddenly... And it's in the starter deck as well. It will be when it comes to the US, probably. It'll be in the starter deck.
Wait, what will be?
The Black Kyurem comes in the battle decks.
Well,
in
yeah,
Japan.
we've had that with the Reshiram and Zekrom X decks, and we didn't actually get the Star deck.
Oh, well, fair enough.
What will most likely happen is I can see the 2 new Kyurem X's getting tinned. That's the treatment that Reshiram X got.
Even if it's tinned, I don't think that's not even a problem.
No, it's not going to be too hard to get your hands on. I mean, I'm going to actually push that out there right now. Most likely, Black Kyurem X is going to be tinned, so you don't have.
There's no real evidence of that yet.
No, I'm just going off past trends. I mean, at least assume it's going to get tinned, because that way people aren't going to go out. They're not going to pre-order them at stupid prices. I'm trying to make it so that people don't spend like $30.
We won't see pre-orders until we know what set it's in.
True, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, no, sometimes if it's going to be in a tin, you won't be able to pre-order it from a set.
No, well, that's just like there's one thing that really concerns me was like people, going out spending ludicrous money on cards, and then they get tinned and become worth pretty much $10. It's what I said with Rayquaza, and we knew that was going to happen. We didn't know about Mewtwo and Darkrai, but I'm pretty sure some people felt rather silly when those $80 Mewtwo's were put in a tin. You can see what I'm saying. I'm not saying that don't invest in this card. I'm just saying be wary of how much you invest on it. I don't want I don't want people crippling themselves or bankrupting themselves for this when it might get tinned.
It depends on how it's released. We don't even know how it's going to be released yet. With Rayquaza, we had prior knowledge of how that would be released. With Zekrom, we don't.
Yeah, well, with both Rayquazas, we did have prior knowledge, but that's why the
Rayquazas plural, but it's just, in general, if it's going to be tinned, it'll be tinned. If it comes out as filler in a set, they'll probably do it that way. Both cases are equally plausible. Like they could do I don't know how many cards in the battle decks. I think it's 30 cards.
I can see it being definitely in a set, but I could also see these 2 cards, because they came out originally in decks, will most likely get made into X's. Especially seeing they're also like the poster boys for Black 2 and White.
2, White 2, yeah.
So there is strong evidence to suggest that they will send this for the release.
Well, that's.
And think about this: if a lot of people actually even want to say it could get tinned, and the pre-orders don't get too high for it, then even if it doesn't get tinned, it won't cost a fortune to buy them.
Maybe. It depends how if the format in Japan changes, or if our format doesn't match.
True, that has happened quite a bit. But to be honest, with this format so far, I can see we're going quite a similar route to Japan this year. Like last season, my last format, we tended to split from them quite a bit, quite divergent. But right now it's a case of Speed Darkrai did okay over in the States. Now people are using Speed Darkrai here and having some kind of results with it. Blastoise Keldeo did well over in Japan, it's doing well over here. Doesn't seem like we're diverging as much this season.
To be honest, in our current card pool, there's not a lot to diverge from. With the way the format's going, they're just releasing more powerful cards, and people are using those powerful cards. It's just the power creep, basically. The problem with the power creep is just the fact that it's a lot of basics. In the past, it's been like stage 1s and stage 2s, so you had evolution.
That will actually, I'm hoping that it will be resolved with the next, well, I hate using the word for what they're doing, but basically the next gimmick. When we actually
plasma Pokemon.
Yeah, when we actually get the plasma sets in, and they eventually start to focus more on plasma and less on X. Because I can see with plasma it's going to be a case of, less one big card makes the deck. It's going to be a case of you're going to need some type of engine, and it's going to be mostly trainer based, so it should actually help both power and price creep. Basically, my major concern with that is it being available to as many people as possible.
I don't know. I feel like
I think we should save the plasma conversation for another episode.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
So, with all of that covered, and hopefully we didn't ramble too much, I've been Rata Joey.
I'm still Maxon.
Until next time, stay in the top percent. Hey guys, Rata Joey here. Just a quick announcement about the previous episode. Mentioned that Black Kyurem and White Kyurem X may get tinned. While we were actually recording the episode, turns out Pokebeach have announced that yes, we are getting Black Kyurem and White Kyurem tins. They're being released on March the 6th, and we have no confirmation just yet of which Black and White Kyurem they are. I'm personally assuming it's going to be the new Black and White Kyurem, but we've got no confirmation just yet. So, just in case you think that we kind of missed that out, now it's just the whole fact that it came out as we were recording. So until next time, stay on the top percent.